just 88 pieces in the whole world. And nothing hits quite like a $620,000 watch that lets you spin a roulette wheel on your wrist. And Drake has got his hands on this masterpiece that's like anything the watch world has ever seen. This is the full story of the Jacob & Co. Astronomia Casino, why Drake chose it, and why the single piece says more about his choice than anything else in his collection. Now, before getting into the story of how this ended up on Drake's wrist, it's worth actually understanding what this thing is, because the specifications alone are something else. The Astronomia Casino sits in an 18-karat rose gold case, 47mm wide and 28mm thick. That thickness is not a design choice, it's a necessity. There is simply too much going on inside for the case to be any thinner. The dome and the side windows are sapphire crystal, shaped that so every single thing happening inside the watch is visible from every angle. Nothing is hidden, and that's intentional. The watch was built to be watched. 4 arms extend from the center of the movement, and each one is doing something different. The first carries a 1-carat Jacob cut diamond. Not a standard cut, but a proprietary 288 facet cut developed by Jacob & Co. specifically for pieces like this. That diamond spins on its own axis every 30 seconds, catching light from every direction as it goes. The second arm holds a double-axis tourbillon, one of the most respected and technically demanding complications in all of watchmaking. It rotates on 2 axes simultaneously, which is the kind of detail that makes serious collectors stop and stare. The third arm carries a miniature globe of the Earth, hand-lacquered in blue magnesium, rotating slowly on its arm like the real thing. And the fourth arm displays the time, Roman numerals, almost calm by comparison to everything surrounding it. All 4 arms travel together around the full diameter of the watch, completing one full revolution every 10 minutes. So at any given moment, the entire interior of this watch is in motion. It never sits still. And below all of that, separated from the movement by a sheet of sapphire crystal, is the roulette wheel. 37 pockets, red and black enamel, a small white ceramic ball is sitting in the track. Press the 2 buttons on the side of the case and the wheel spins. The ball bounces around the inside of the track, rattling against the edges until it finds a number and stops. That's it. That's the moment. A fully functional roulette game built into a Swiss watch, powered by a manual winding caliber with 395 individual components and a 60-hour power reserve. The strap is black alligator leather with an 18-karat rose gold folding buckle. The price sits at a whopping $620,000, and the total production run was 88 pieces worldwide. That means there's nothing else like it. Keeping in mind all these intricate details and beautiful horology, now you understand why this watch is limited to only a few special people in the world. But the story is just getting interesting. In early February 2020, Drake posted a photo on Instagram from inside the Jacob & Co. headquarters. The caption simply read, "Heavy Agenda." He was standing in the workshop, alongside his close friend OVO Niko, surrounded by the kinds of pieces that Jacob & Co. is known for. He didn't say what he was there for, he didn't need to. A few days later, Jacob & Co. posted on their own Instagram. The photo was the Astronomia Casino. The caption described the watch in full detail: the tourbillon, the rotating diamond, the spinning globe, and the roulette wheel. And it was clear from the moment those posts aligned that Drake had not gone to that workshop just to look around. He went because he had already decided. But if we take a look at Drake's watch collection, it was already extraordinary at that point. He had Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet that most collectors never get close to. He had Richard Mille pieces, including the RM69 Erotic Tourbillon, which he wore to the NBA Finals and caused a wave of its own. This is not an ordinary watch, but it also cost a huge $750,000. Yes, you heard it right. Not just that, he also had custom Rolexes, including a Chrome Hearts Day-Date with baguette diamonds across the bracelet that was so far off menu it barely existed as a public piece. His collection wasn't just big, it was deeply personal, and every piece had a reason for being there. And then this one. What's interesting about the Astronomia Casino is that it's not the most expensive piece in his collection. A Richard Mille alone costs more, but it's arguably the most original, because while everything else in the collection, regardless of how rare or heavily customized, still follows the logic of a watch, the Astronomia Casino follows a completely different logic. It performs, it moves continuously, and it lets its owner press a button and play roulette at any given moment of any given day. That is a different kind of object, and Drake clearly understood why he bought one of these. But the Astronomia Casino was just the beginning. From the neck down to the fingers, Drake made sure nothing was left behind. Drake's jewelry collection also proves his passion for the finer things, regularly teasing his Instagram following with his latest diamond-encrusted purchase. The Scorpion singer has everything from a one-of-a-kind $100,000 gold and diamond stone island medallion to an OVO logo necklace, which features 40 carats of ice blue, canary yellow, and white VVS diamonds. His watch collection too, which is made up of 18-karat gold Rolex Day-Dates, Yacht Masters and Daytonas, and a Patek Philippe Nautilus, outshines even Kanye West's own Rolex and Cartier heavy lineup. That's why when it comes to Drake, he doesn't wear watches that hide anything. Look at the Chrome Hearts Rolex. The diamonds are everywhere, across the bezel and down the bracelet. Not just that, look at the Richard Mille RM 69. It literally has words appearing on a disc inside the dial. Look at the pieces he reaches for again and again on nights that matter. Drake has never been interested in subtlety when it comes to his wrist, but more than that, he's never been interested in having the same thing as everyone else. Which is why the Astronomia Casino fits that perfectly. Because every other rapper at his level has a Patek Nautilus. Most of them have multiple. It's practically a uniform for a certain income bracket in hip-hop. Drake has one too, but he also has a watch with a roulette wheel inside it. That's the gap. That's the distance between collecting and actually having a point of view. That exclusivity is real. This is not a watch that can be bought off a shelf anywhere. It's not a watch that appears in catalogues. It's a piece that existed in a limited run and now is gone from production. Whoever has one permanently, and Drake made sure to be in that group. A while after Drake made the purchase, Conor McGregor posted a video on Instagram. He was wearing the Astronomia Casino on his wrist, and he pressed the button. The roulette wheel started spinning inside the watch. The ceramic ball bounced around the track, rattled back and forth, and eventually landed on red 14. It all shows that this watch has a personality and has set the standards that just a few celebrities can afford. It's not something you admire quietly from across the room. It's something you interact with, something you show people, something that makes everyone in the room lean forward and ask what they're looking at. That quality, the ability to create a moment wherever it appears, is rarer in watchmaking than any complication or precious metal. There is something about this watch that goes beyond the price tag and the roulette wheel. It just fits Drake in a way that's hard to explain but impossible to miss. Not every expensive watch belongs on every wrist, but this one found exactly the right person. If we look at his personal life, Drake is someone who has spent his entire career making choices that other people thought were either wrong or unexpected, and then being proven right. The sound, the collaborations, the way he built OVO from the ground up into a fully functioning cultural institution. None of it followed a predictable path. All of it followed a very clear internal logic that only became obvious in hindsight. The Astronomia Casino follows that same pattern. On paper, a watch with a roulette wheel sounds like a novelty, like something designed for a headline and nothing more. But spend 5 minutes actually understanding what's inside this case: the double-axis tourbillon, the 395 component movement, the engineering required just to isolate the ceramic ball from the timekeeping mechanism so that the whole thing actually functions. This is a serious piece of Swiss horology that also happens to play roulette. Those two things coexist, and Drake, who genuinely researches the pieces he buys and understands that before he ever puts it on his wrist. He didn't choose this watch to be different. He chose it because it was the best version of what he was looking for. Something that broke every rule the traditional watch world had set while being deeply serious about the ones that matter: precision, movement, craft, and then a roulette wheel. Because why not? And that's it. $620,000, 88 pieces, one of them on Drake's wrist. In a collection that includes some of the rarest and most coveted watches on the planet, the Astronomia Casino is still the one that makes people ask the most questions. But Jacob & Co. Astronomia Casino is just the start. There's actually a more expensive watch in Drake's collection that steals the crown, and you can watch it here. Guess which one it is? In the meantime, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay locked in.